The night manager tapped a laminated sign with a shaking pinky. Do not use the service elevator after 12:15 a.m. I pressed the button at 12:16 anyway. Rules written in fear itched something in me. He said, if the phone rings inside, close the gate before you answer. At midnight, I was relief night audit at the Asher, a downtown business hotel that smells like lemons and steam. Friday meant wedding overflow, broken ice machine on 7, and 3 luggage carts abandoned in back corridors. Marcos walked me through, fast, blessing the sign with his palm like superstition at closing. Don't ride the box after a quarter past, he said. If you must go down, take the stairs. If you're inside and the phone rings, close the gate first. Then answer. He wouldn't explain. He used quirky like it hurt. He gave me keys and told me to call anyway. By 11 the lobby was a fish tank. The desk screens washed my face blue. I ran the drop, printed arrivals, logged a complaint about thumping on 8, and signed for food address to no one. I wrote 12:14 in the book. The pen skipped on the 4, for luck. Housekeeping left a linen bin on 7, piled high with wet terry and the coppery bleach smell that only arrives after midnight. Needed B. I took the back corridor past the warm ice machine and dim vending alcove, toward gray metal doors with a scratched badge reader and sticker. The ready light blinked lazy green. The call button was yellow, hairline cracked, with a brown nicotine halo under clear coat. The same laminated sign sat beside it. Someone once covered the time with tape, then peeled it off. A thumb whirl lived in the glue like punctuation left there. When the relay clicked, I felt it in the cartilage near my ear. The doors shuddered and opened like a held breath. Stainless walls scuffed by dollies. Convex camera dome. Certificate behind cracked plexi. Penciled inspection date. Capacity 3,500 pounds. Someone wrote 2,100 beneath it in Sharpie with a smiley. Shoes on steel sounded too loud. I dragged the bin inside and fought the stubborn inner gate until it latched. The ceiling fan ticked a stuttering loop that felt like a mouth. I pressed B. The button gave like a bruise. The indicator rolled 7, 6, 5, then hesitated once. It hung on for, went back to 5, then 6, then 5 again. Cable bounce, I told myself. Maybe someone else called it. In the stainless, my reflection lagged half a beat. My lanyard hung left in there, right on my chest. I corrected it. Followed later too slowly. My radio hissed. You good, Marcos. I said fine and regretted it. The signal clipped hard. The cab sighed deeper. B flickered. Numbers rolled again. 432, 433. The car stopped hard. The linen slid. My teeth clicked. Somewhere above, a door opened, then closed in there. I remembered the small print on the sign. If the car stops and someone knocks, do not open the gate between 12:15 and 12:30. If the in-cab phone rings, close the gate before answering. Italics read like a threat in bureaucratic clothing. I breathed quiet and listened carefully for anything. The little metal flap covered a beige handset. The bell tone rang exactly like movies think phones should. I pushed the latch until the gate clicked. I lifted the receiver. Don't answer until the gate is closed, my own voice said, too bright, followed by my breath arriving late again. I looked at the closed gate because I had closed it. I said hello anyway because politeness is a disease. The line died with a cooked plastic smell. Up in the corner, the camera dome had a white crescent scuff, same tiny swirl as the glue. It seemed to rotate slightly. The indicator blinked a letter I'd never seen, L. Not B1, not LL. Just L like a sound. 3 soft knocks came from the wrong side of the inner gate, chest height. Not a shoe. Knuckles. Metal shivered. My radio spit gravel. Marcos lower. Don't press door open. Don't speak. In the stainless, my mouth opened to answer him. I wasn't speaking. My jaw ached like I'd been clenching. My lanyard in there had twisted itself into a loose knot I couldn't feel. The linen's top towel showed a rust edge, a handprint dripping. I looked down. Nothing at all. When I looked up again, the handprint returned in the reflection, like the other car told the truth. The cab sighed deeper. The outer doors tried. They inched, thumped, then inched again. The revealed gap was a narrow greenish corridor with the wrong baseboard and a stuttering clock beyond view. I could only see the clock in slices between the doors. The second hand stuck, then lurched, then stuck again. The time was 12:16, again, like the night couldn't pass it. From the corridor someone used my full name the way my mother does when I don't pick up calls. I pressed my palm to door open and felt heat, like a breath lived under the metal. 3 more knocks, exactly spaced. I didn't open anything. I listened. The phone under the flap rang again. Bell perfect. The dome's white crescent scuff pointed down now, like an eye watching me. My radio trembled against my shoulder. I heard Marcos or something using his depth. If you're inside, do not talk back. Close it. Close it now. In the reflection, my hand moved from the button. In the car, I hadn't moved yet. My breath came late, thin and unhelpful air. The doors inched another fraction. The corridor's paint had bubbles where moisture wanted out. A fleck fell and stuck to the threshold. The second hand on the clock lurched, then paused on the line. I held the button, felt heat, and counted the space between knocks without meaning to. 3. Heat bled through the button into my fingertip until it felt like the metal had a pulse. The knocks spaced themselves 1.5 seconds apart. The stuck second hand in the green corridor ticked without moving, and each knock landed on where the hand would have been. My phone still said 12:16. The indicator still said L. Somewhere above the roof of the cab, something like a sigh ran the length of the shaft and turned back. The in-cab phone rang, the bell ideal, like a sound effect dubbed onto my life. I checked the gate again, latched, teeth meshed, and lifted the handset. The silence on the line wasn't empty. It had the granulated hush of our security closet. Then, in my own voice, bright and fractionally too high, close it. Close it first. Then answer. I said, it's closed. The line went to a slow breath. Not mine. The breath made the dome scuff tilt a degree, as if the camera had leaned closer. I didn't hang up. I put the handset under my ear and shoulder and took the linen bin's handle. The bin's wheels squealed against the cab floor like a child hating shoes. I dragged it until it pressed the gate, a wedge I could pretend was strategy. The towel on top left a dark, wet crescent on the steel. In the mirror world of the wall, the crescent shaped itself into fingers that weren't mine and gripped. The radio clicked 3 times without sound. Then Marcos, dead quiet, buried in interference. Do not lighten the car. I looked at the certificate again. Someone had drawn a line through 3,500 and written 2,100 in Sharpie, with that stupid smile. Under the panel, a faded service sticker had tiny print I'd never read. Do not operate below minimum load 180 pounds between 0:15 to 0:30. The sticker's corner had peeled. A perfect greasy thumb had pressed it back down years ago. Whirlpool Center. Something scraped the outer doors, not like a key, like cloth and knees. The gap widened another fraction and showed the baseboard beyond. A color our hotel didn't buy, a profile I hadn't seen. The analog clock in slices, 12:16, 12:16, 12:16. My mother's voice again, from the corridor this time, gentle because she didn't want to scare me. Honey, if you're there, don't say anything. I bit the inside of my cheek until I could count the points of my teeth. Blood tasted like nickels. The breath in the receiver matched mine for 3 cycles, then missed, then matched again. Do not speak. My not Marcos said through my radio low. Do not open. If they ask for your name, don't give it. The phone hissed as if someone moved their mouth closer to its holes. A second line came over mine. A thin hotel music loop almost too soft to hear, the kind we pipe in the lobby at 4 a.m. when the world is a fish tank. It sounded warped by heat. I used my phone like a periscope and slid the camera into the gap so I could look without leaning. On the screen, the corridor wasn't green. It was lit the same dirty gold as our back hall. A man in a night manager vest stood 5 feet away, face turned toward the camera so close his breath fogged the lens. The vest was ours. The name tag said Marcos with the O rubbed off. The screen showed his mouth making 3 small movements. Knock, knock, knock. I dropped the phone hard enough that its case cracked along the bottom. The gap showed only the wrong baseboard and the stuck clock again. The handset clicked twice in my ear, small and thoughtful. In the mirror steel, my reflection smiled without my permission, then pretended it hadn't. I tried the alarm button. It depressed, stayed down, and nothing happened. No bell. No disembodied, this car is out of service. I pressed close and held it. Heat built until the button's little plastic lens softened against my thumb. A smell like old microwaved takeout leaking from it. The doors didn't move. The gate, though, tugged against the linen bin twice like something inside the shaft wanted in more than out. "I can see you," my voice said in the handset, not to me, to some other time. "Don't open." Far off, as if down a hallway lined with towels, my mother said my name with the half-laugh she uses when she's trying not to make a big deal. The breath at my ear paused there, like it was listening for her, too. 3 new knocks, higher this time, like a child on tiptoe. The analog second hand in the slice made a brave, breathless jump and landed back on itself. I counted again, 1, 1.5, 3. The pattern was wrong, right. The dome's white crescent turned its mouth to the gap and stayed. I shifted the bin tighter to the gate and felt the weight as if a hidden hand leaned from the other side. I said nothing. I let the phone play me back to me. The rule wasn't moral. It was mechanical. Don't give the echo something to hook into. At some point the air changed. The cab's cold moved up into my gums. The lemon smell drowned in wet laundry until nothing existed but fabric and metal breath. My watch still said 12:16. Then the indicator stuttered, thought about 2, then 1, then B. The relay above me thunked with intent. The outer doors decided closed. The gap narrowed in quarters, then eighths, then gone. The dome's crescent pointed to me again like we were back to normal and we had not made a deal. When the car finally settled on B, the light blinked and held, calm as a suggestion. The doors opened on our basement corridor, same fight green paint, same pop machine with the out-of-order note. The clock over housekeeping read 12:29. If I had believed clocks, I would have been relieved. The beige wall phone by the laundry chute rang as soon as my shoe hit the hall. In the ring there was that tiny movie bell under the real one. I crossed to it because you cross to ringing things. That is what life at a desk teaches you. I picked up and heard the air of my cab, the fan tick, the tiny lens melting smell still in my nose even though it couldn't be. "Don't answer until the gate is closed," I said before I knew I was speaking. My voice too bright, fractionally wrong. Something breathed. Far away, cloth whispered on metal. "It's closed," my voice on the line said. Not mine anymore. And the breath in my ear matched me and then missed by one cycle like a step that didn't see the stair. I hung up. I didn't look at my reflection in the stainless chute door. I kept my face for myself. I pushed the linen bin toward the laundry. The top towel had no stain. I checked twice. A fine mint note threaded the bleach like someone had chewed gum to keep from saying a name. Marcos met me at the service corridor corner like he had been bracing the wall. He looked past my left ear first, then at me. His pinky shook against the badge reel. "You took the box," he said, not really a question. He touched the sign with 2 fingers, the time, the tape scar. His thumb left a clean whirl on the plastic like it was repeating itself through years. "If the phone rings, you close the gate first," he said, reciting to see if I had learned the sound or the meaning. "It rang," I said. "I closed it." I didn't tell him that I had told me. He didn't ask. We wheeled the bin to laundry together and didn't speak about clocks. At the desk, the lobby was a fish tank again. The glass elevator by the bar reflected tiny versions of me elbow-deep in keys. The overnight music loop hit the same wrong warble it had over the handset. The front phone rang. Main line said unknown. The smaller display below it, the one tied to back of house, flash service elevator L. My thumb hovered over the button. I could see in the security split screen the interior of the car. Empty stainless, closed gate, linen bin's dark crescent where it had leaned. The indicator inside the camera overlay read 12:16. The dome scuff had rotated to face the handset cradle. Marcos didn't move. He was watching the door to the service hall like he was matched to a metronome only he could hear. The phone kept ringing perfectly on the beat. I picked up because that is what hands do. The hiss of the closet. The silence with breath braided into it. Then my voice, not quite mine. Careful the way you are when you're speaking to yourself through a wall. If you're inside, don't talk back. Close it. Close it now. From the other end, I heard the tiny soft strikes of 3 polite knocks. They arrived a second and a half apart. The lobby clock over the bar said 12:16. I put the handset back in its cradle and felt its cradle put me back. In the reflection in the concierge glass, my lanyard had a loose knot. My real one lay straight. The mint in the lobby air machine ticked from medium to high with a plasticky click. Behind the front desk, in the red binder under rules, stairwell, a fresh page waited in a plastic sleeve that hadn't been there at 11. Sharpie. Shaky. Do not use the service elevator after 12:15 a.m. If it stops between 12:15 and 12:30 and the phone rings, close the gate first. Do not speak to names that use your mother's voice. Do not lighten the car. Count. A thumbprint sat in the curl of the D. It was mine. I pressed my thumb to it and it matched warmer than paper should hold. Somewhere deep, metal knocked 3 times. The sound came from the shaft, or from the back of my ear. The second hand on the lobby clock made a brave jump and landed where it started.